Hi, my name is Sheri Bay. I'm a reference librarian at Lincoln Library, and today we will be learning how to make a cactus bauble ornament. The supplies you'll be needing today are clear glass ornaments, acrylic paints in green, yellow, and white, string or twine or fishing wire, small espresso or paper cups, clear plastic cups, orange felt and pink felt, scissors, and we will be using a glue gun today. And also, when dealing with paint, it never hurts to have some paper towels on hand. The first thing I'll have you do is take a clear glass ornament and remove the top off of it just by pulling up gently and carefully and releasing the wires from inside. And go ahead and set that to the side because we will be using that later. The first thing we're going to do today is make a green paint to go on the inside of the glass ornament, and that will be your base green color right here. And how we'll do that is, if you don't already have the perfect shade of green that you want to use, go ahead and take some dark green and mix in a little bit of yellow and white to get like a nice rich forest or emerald green color to be your base color. Once you've mixed your desired green color, go ahead and pick up your glass ornament and put it on top of a paper cup just to hold it there so it doesn't roll around. You don't want broken glass everywhere. And what we'll do next is go ahead and just pour. You can use a spoon to spoon in the paint into the glass bauble, or you can very slowly and carefully pour it in from your cup using a paintbrush that you mixed your paint with. And you're just going to pour it carefully right into the opening of your glass bauble, being careful not to get any paint on the outside. You want all of this green paint to go on the inside of your glass bauble. Once you have your green paint in the bottom of your bauble, go ahead and take a paper towel, or you can just use your finger. I don't like to get paint on me, so I'm going to use a paper towel and just put it over the opening of your glass bauble and hold it with one hand and just shake the paint around in there. Make sure it gets all over the inside. You can swirl it around, just making sure that you cover the entire inside of that ornament so that it's all green. Now once you're done with that, this is how it should look. It looks like it's all coated on the inside there, so it's just a solid green color. Now we're going to go ahead and set that off to the side. And now we need to mix a lighter green. So you can take the leftover that you have from your darker green, add a little bit of yellow and some white to it to get just maybe a shade lighter than your base green color. And go ahead and get that mixed up. And you're going to want to use a paintbrush with a finer tip, finer bristle for this next part. Okay, and then once you get that paint mixed, you're going to want to take your bauble. You want to draw as fine of a line as possible, or you can do thicker. It's really up to you, but you're going to want to draw a line just on the outside of your bauble from the top to the bottom. You can do this anywhere on your bauble. And like I said, it can be as fine as you want it, or it can be as thick as you want it. So that looks like this. Go ahead and do that. You'll need about 8 lines like this, so be careful to keep them spaced. These light green lines is where we're going to take our glue gun and make little spines on the cactus. Once you're finished with your light green lines, it is going to look a little bit like a watermelon, but once we get the whole product put together, it will look like a cactus. I was only able to do 7 little lines around my cactus because I made them a little bit thicker, but it really doesn't matter, just as long as they're spaced close enough together so that you can see the different spines on there. So go ahead and set this to the side. And take out one of your paper cups. And now we're going to want to prepare our base of the ornament. So it looks like a pot of sorts. So what we'll need to do then is take your paper cup and cut about 1 inch to 1.5 inches from the bottom or from the top so that we're leaving the bottom. So what I like to do is just take my scissors and cut little lines to my desired height from the bottom of the cup to kind of make it easier to cut. So you'll see we have all these little edges like this, and then I'll take my scissors and start cutting around. And again, it needs to be about 1 inch to 1.5 inches tall, and we're going to set our ornament in this and cover it with orange felt so it looks like a terracotta pot. Once I've wrapped my felt around my cup, I'll take my glue gun and line my felt with glue and glue it to the paper cup. And just hold it there. Be careful not to burn yourself. So I'm holding it up against the cup here to begin with, and then I wrap it. I'll wrap my felt around and glue my felt together. So I'll take my glue gun and I'm going to glue just along the edge here, just a nice line. And I'll go ahead and press firmly down. And again, be careful not to burn yourself with the glue or on the glue gun. And I'll just hold it for just a few seconds before I start trimming the excess felt off. So before I trim this part off here, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting the top of it so that it lines up with the top of the cup. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'll just cut along the top of the cup on my felt, just around it. And like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're actually going to cover this part up with some more felt. So don't worry if it's jagged or a little uneven. And then now what I'll do is cut this excess part here. So it will look like this. And there will be a seam here on the back. And then again, just check to make sure the glue is holding. Make sure it's not going to unravel. Once you're done cutting the felt to make your pot, the light green paint on your bauble should be dry. So we'll be able to put your spines on now. So you'll want to take your glue gun and holding your bauble on its side here and kind of tilting it down, you'll want to just take a little bit of glue, push it out on there so it creates a little ball, and you want it to string out a little bit. And what I do is just do one line. And it gets a little messy with these strings, but I promise we'll cut them off after we're done. So it almost looks like the glue is dripping a little bit. And that's what we want. We want that kind of prickly effect with the glue. And like I said, it gets a little messy, but nothing that we can't clean up afterwards. Now once you're done, you'll see we have all these strings here. We'll just take our scissors and just cut these strings off, but being sure to leave the glue so it looks like it's kind of dripping still. And then we'll have our little spines. And they look like those little thorny, prickly pieces on the cactus. So you're going to want to go ahead and do that on all of the little light green stripes that you created on your bauble. The glue should dry pretty instantly on your little spines here. So once you get those done, you're going to take the pot that you made and glue this inside the cup or inside the felt. What I do, this gets a little tricky, but what I do It just seems to be the best way, the less messy way, is take my glue gun and I just will do a line of glue along the very, very top edge of the cup. Even if you get some on the felt, I think that's fine. It's just extra reinforcement that way. And then set it down right in there and kind of firmly press it into the cup as much as you can. Be careful you don't want to push too hard because you don't want to break it. And it should stick all right. Just kind of tap it just to make sure, okay? We've got the cactus in the pot. Next, let's take some of the excess orange felt that you had and make just a thin strip like this. And go ahead and run your glue gun just along one edge of it. Once you have glue along that edge, you're going to take that glued part and you're going to stick it right to the top of your pot. So this is going to look like the edge or the top edge of your pot. In doing this, my bauble fell off, and I think that's pretty normal. It's not a problem at all. Just go ahead and set it to the side and finish doing this lip here. One thing you want to kind of keep in mind is keeping the seams all on one side together. And if you have a little bit of excess here, go ahead and just cut that right off with your scissors. Okay, and here it looks like a little terracotta pot. So if your bauble did fall off, like mine did, no worries. Just go ahead and run some hot glue along the felt on the inside. Okay, and then place your bauble right on the inside there and hold it firmly. If you have hot glue on the lip of the cloth, on the felt cloth, just go ahead and push that maybe against the bauble, and that just gives it a little bit more security to stick. Okay, and there we go, and it's on there this time. Okay, so go ahead and set that to the side and pick up your little pink felt, and what we'll need to do, I have mine cut into a little square, but you'll need to cut it into a circle. Okay, I cut mine into about the size of a penny. You can make yours as big as you want it. You can make it as small as you want it. Just make sure it's a circle. And the first part we're going to do is cut a slit to the center. And we're actually going to take a small wedge out. So go ahead and do that first cut and then cut another line in. And we're going to take it out. So it looks kind of like Pac-Man. And then around the rest of the circle, we're going to just cut little slits towards the center. Being careful not to connect them because we don't want any more wedges taken out. We just want it to make it look like it has petals. This will be the flower that goes on your cactus. Okay, and once you have that, this part's kind of tricky. You're going to want to take it where your wedge is and bring the two close together and make a little cone. Just a small one, just so it kind of buckles in a little bit. And that's actually where we're going to place this on the cactus, where the glue is going to hold it. So again, take your glue gun, pick a part on your cactus, preferably to the side of the center, on the opposite side of where your seams are on your pot. So if you turn it, the seams are directly back here. I'm going to put it probably right around here, just off center a little bit. So I'm going to do a little dab with my hot glue gun. And I'm going to take my little flower, kind of shaped a little bit like a cone, and it will fan out, and I'm just going to stick the pointy part of that cone. Try to get it so you can see, just kind of fluff it up a little bit like that, and so you can get it stuck on that glue really well there. And then I'm going to just kind of put a little pressure on the center of it just to make sure it sticks and holds. I'll hold there for just a little bit. Again, be careful not to burn yourself on the hot glue. And then just kind of fan it out a little bit. You got your little flower. If you have little beads at home, you can put a little gold or a silver bead and hot glue it right to the center of that. I don't have beads available, so I won't be doing that today. But we're at the end here. Your little topper, carefully put that back in here and place it back on top of your bauble. Being careful not to break the bauble. And I'm going to make sure that it's turned so that when I put my string on there, it doesn't show the seam back here. Okay? So I just have some white string. Again, you can use twine, you can use fishing wire, you can use an ornament hook, and just put that directly on the loop here. I'm going to take my string and just tie a quick little knot. And here you have your cactus bauble ornament, just in time for the holidays. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you were able to create something fun. Join us again next month. We'll have another video up on Positively Crafty. Happy holidays.